Hey, good evening, everybody. How are you? This is Freddie Ewan, three-time GM of the Year, 2022 Pan Cup champion, 2023 regular season champion, 2024 Pan Cup runner-up of the TPFFAKL. Once again, voted amongst my peers as the GM of the Year. I got a couple haters in some other leagues today. It's been a lot of trash talk that now that the Philadelphia Eagles are off to host their third NFC Championship game in 8 years. Getting all the haters come out. I got, a guy holding here. What do you say about me? Hold on. Eagles are kind of like you in fantasy. You think you're good, should be good, but can't finish. And then of course, the famous Washington Commandos, New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys, more so Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants, but we get some Commander fans doing this too. How many Super Bowls you got? How many Super Bowls you got? It's like I don't want to make fun of the mentally ill, but it's just like, yeah, we got nothing to say. The Eagles are so damn good. How many Super Bowls you got? We won ours in 1993. I was a freshman in high school in 1993. Anyway, uh, divisional round is always, always, always an awesome week. We're playing a DraftKings tournament. I did good in the wild card, came in first, got my ass kicked this week. Houston and Kansas City. Houston put up a little bit of fight. Kansas City wins the game. They are going to their seventh straight AFC Championship game. Patrick Mahomes, all 7 years as a starter, has been in the championship game all 7 years. If he wins, he's going to go to his fifth Super Bowl in 7 years. Pretty amazing. Going to try to win his third Super Bowl in a row and fourth. And, it's funny because Mahomes is obviously he's, the best quarterback in the NFL, most clutch. Kansas City's a dynasty team. But, there's one guy who's, going to have a better legacy, I think, than Mahomes when all said and done, and that's Tom Brady. And it's funny, the reason why Mahomes might not get to 7 Super Bowls is because Tom Brady beat him twice. Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes his first year as a starter in the AFC Championship game. Mahomes won the MVP through 50 touchdowns. Um, Patriots came in, they beat the Kansas City Chiefs in overtime. Another great comeback by Brady. Brady will win the Super Bowl or Mahomes would win the Super Bowl the next year. And then Brady would go to Tampa. They would play the Kansas City Chiefs, and Brady again would beat Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Mahomes has only lost to two quarterbacks in the playoffs, Joe Burrow once and Tom Brady twice. So, just goes to show you that Tom Brady is just still the man. But, once again, Kansas City off to their seventh straight AFC Championship game. You got to be really happy for them and Andy Reid, amazing team. The other game on Saturday, whoo, and I got to give you guys credit. I got a lot of friends that are Commodore fans, and we've been throwing mud at each other. But what an amazing season by the Washington Commanders! Really, just an amazing season. Jane Daniels has been something else. Detroit had a phenomenal year all year. They were a little banged up on defense, and they did not have the greatest defensive team in the world. Either does Washington. It was going to be a shootout. And, people are really saying, there's a couple of Commanders haters that are saying that, Detroit gave the ball away and Goff played horrible. I think he threw 3 interceptions. They turned the ball over 5 times. There was a pick six, but you got to give it to Washington because, Washington goes on the road. They beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Barely. If it wasn't for a late turnover there, they wouldn't have won that game. Then they go on and they beat the Detroit Lions pretty handily. They win by 14 points. They beat the Detroit Lions in Detroit, the number 1 seed. Detroit had a phenomenal year, and you really just gotta give it to the Commanders. That is one of the biggest upsets, I think in recent NFL history. I don't remember a bigger upset than that. I think the last big upset might have been the New York Giants when they beat the 15-1 Green Bay Packers. I don't know if that was 2007 or 2011, but that was a pretty big upset. There were a couple upsets where the Packers were a 1 seed and really good and ended up going 1-out in the playoffs. But I really think that that Jay Daniels is something else. And just goes to show you that ownership really starts from the top off. It's like they get rid of Snyder. And just, I think even is it a year after they got rid of Snyder? Did Snyder still a team a year ago? And they're already going to the NFC Championship game, their first NFC Championship game since 1993. Um, and Detroit went to the NFC Championship game last year. So that brings us to there is one team in the NFC that has not been to an NFC championship since 1996, and that is the Dallas Cowboys. How many Super Bowls you got, Dallas? Over on the other side, before we get to my birdies, let's just talk a little bit. This was going to be a great game from the start. Probably the two best quarterbacks right now that are playing. Baltimore played a hell of a game. Buffalo had a little more. Lamar Jackson threw some interceptions. Lamar Jackson, he is, the guy threw something like, I think it was 39 touchdowns during the regular season and 4 interceptions, and he throws 2 interceptions against the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen was Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things. Derrick Henry didn't really have that great of a game. And they had a chance to seal it at the end. Huge drop by Mark Andrews. You got to feel so bad for that guy. That would have sent the game into overtime. Just huge drop. But you can't hold it all on Andrews. Baltimore made some mistakes. Buffalo had the home field. And Buffalo was one of the Denver beat Kansas City at the end of the year when Kansas City rested all stars, but the only loss that Kansas City had was to Buffalo this year. Of course, it was in Buffalo. This game's going to be in Kansas City. I think the line is like 1.5. It's going to be a great game, I think, between Buffalo and Kansas City. I think the whole world is probably rooting for the Buffalo Bills, and I am too. I really don't care who wins that game, but I would really like to see the Buffalo Bills, go to the Super Bowl instead of the Kansas City Chiefs. I love Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Kelce and all those guys, but you just get a little bit bored of the Kansas City Chiefs that just continue to go and go. So it's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be a great AFC Championship game. The last game, well, the first game on Sunday, I got it all here. I had my Devontae Smith jersey. Let's see, I even got my check this one out. Check this one out. My ugly Eagle sweater, which fit perfectly, if you could see it, dashing through the snow in a 1-horse open sleigh. On the field we go. Saquon Barkley all the way. Saquon was absolutely unbelievable yesterday. The guy's just an unbelievable player. Great job by the Philadelphia defense. The boys from Georgia really did a great job. Jalen Carter is, probably on his way to becoming the best interior defensive lineman in the league. The secondary got beat up a little bit. Quinion Mitchell, very scary at the end there. Rams had some huge turnovers. Kyron Williams dropped the ball a couple times, which was huge. And, just the way Barkley played, Jalen Hurts runs one off. And then Barkley gets, 205 yards, runs one for 62, and runs one for 71. And the great thing about that game is the entire first half, there was no snow on the field, and it was a total snowstorm during the second half. It looked like 2 different games. Really scary at the end. Stafford has won a Super Bowl before. He really powered that team. They got down there, they scored another touchdown. Eagles went 3 and out, gave the ball back, and really the Philly defense, getting that sack at the end, sacking Stafford, putting him on a 4th and 10, and just icing and sealing the game. It was on the edge of our seats. I was at a game last week in Texas. I was in Austin, Texas, and I got a really cool shirt here. If you can see this, I don't know if you can see this on the thing, but you see it says "Go Birds," but it's got a big Texas sign. I don't know if you can see this. It's not coming up on the screen that much, but I'll have to put it on a picture or something. But anyway, it's a Texas jersey with the state of Texas with the Eagles logo that says "No one likes us, we don't care." No one likes us, we don't care. It was in Austin, Texas, at probably at a bar in the middle of Austin, Texas, with 200 Eagles fans. Remind me of the time when I used to live in Las Vegas, and used to walk into this bar in the middle of nowhere, and there was 200 Eagles fans watching the game. Super exciting. That's the one great thing. There's a lot of bars like that. Eagles, Steelers, couple other teams, Denver Broncos, I know have a big following where you can walk into almost any city and you're going to find one of those bars that are just, geared to the Eagles. We're going to talk about the games next week. Pretty soon, I'm going to get Champ on here to talk about the games with me. Hopefully, I'm going to get a couple. I'm going to try. I got a lot of Commander buddies that I'm going to try to get on the show. Hopefully, before the game. But it should be really exciting. Who would have thought the Washington Commanders were going to be playing the Philadelphia Eagles for the NFC Championship in Philadelphia this year? If I told you that at the beginning of the season, you would have told me I was smoking crack. But I'm giving credit where credit is due. Just an awesome season for the Washington Commanders. Awesome season. Big, huge upset at Detroit. And I'm sorry, boys, but, you guys had a great season, but it's going to end in Philly on Sunday. I think there's unfinished business for the Philadelphia Eagles. We are now the favorite to win the Super Bowl. We were the favorite to win the Super Bowl 2 years ago and lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, but I think we got unfinished business. I said, when we lost that game, that Jalen Hurts was going to be back in the Super Bowl. He's had everyone's getting on Hurts a lot, but to tell you the truth, Hurts hasn't had to pass the ball. When you got a running back that's running for 205 yards, you don't have to pass the ball. So it's going to be, there's going to be a lot more scoring. I think that the Commanders have a, bit of a more higher powered offense than the Rams had and the Packers had. So I think that, we're going to have to, get there and throw things out. But, I know that the Washington Commanders do not have the greatest defense in the world. The Eagles had the #1 defense. I think when it comes down to it, I think that defense wins in the playoffs. And, we're going to find that out for sure. It's going to be really interesting. But that's the show for tonight. We got the college football national championship on tonight, which I can really give two shits about. Ohio State plays Notre Dame. I wanted to see Penn State beat Notre Dame, but didn't happen. So, it's like I can't stand Ohio State and I can't stand Notre Dame. So I really don't care who this wins. But looks like it's probably getting or below it. I think Ohio State's probably just going to blow them out. But it would be nice to see the underdog win in this one anyway. Anyway, that's the show. Look around. We're going to have a couple more of these this week and get all fired up for the AFC and NFC championships on Sunday. Take care, guys. Have a great day.